three, yeah.
There's three. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Welcome. Yeah. we met a couple of times. This is Rhys Jenkins from Pegasus events.
Pegasus Ultra Running.
Pegasus Ultra Running, actually. Yeah, I said that just now. You've got a couple though, haven't you?
Yeah. Got a few. You've just seen the wall calendar for the year, so I think we got like 9-10 events. Soon to be 11. We're moving into England soon, so that'd be cool.
So
we got some questions regarding something like that, really.
Yeah. Should we ask it now? No, I was going to ask about that because for anyone listening, I suppose you've got Pegasus Ultra Running, which is 6 events over 6 events, 6 months, which is like 30 to 50 miles, isn't it? Yeah, 30 to 50 miles, all in Wales.
Yes,
all in Wales. And then you've got the Sorona, which is the new one, which is a 100 miler in Pembrokeshire. Epona, which I have no idea what the Epona is actually.
Epona is
right here.
The 100
where
miler.
we're filming now.
What? Oh, is it?
It takes place here. It's literally around.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the Epona 100. So yeah.
And this Abergavenny we're in, isn't it?
Yeah. You should have said we were somewhere really like tropical.
Yeah. Tenerife.
This year you're doing it the route backwards, isn't it?
We're switching it this year, yeah, just to figure out which was best. But it was always an idea. It was an experiment to see which was best, really.
Okay. Hilly then, is that?
Hilly. I think there's like 23 mountains in there.
23.
23, but they're not. You can capture quite a few when you're high up anyway. The elevation, it sounds quite intimidating, but I promise you get so much time to do it. I think it's like 50 hours, which we look at the industry standard and we give so much more time over the 100 miler. Like Pegasus, we just don't have cut-off times.
Yeah.
And then the 200 miler is like 120 hours. So if you break that down into day stuff, it's like 40 miles a day for 5 days.
That's from Chepstow to Rosselli, isn't it?
Yeah, man. It doesn't go through your hometown, so it's the area. It brushes around the top, but it's that's a monster.
I was going to ask actually, so is that, because I looked at it the other day and I couldn't remember if I did see it on the website, I probably read it, but is it, so like the Dragon's Back, they've got this, it's you run a certain amount and you've got to cut off per day. Is it the same or is it like a self-supported or self-sufficient one with the...
Once the clock starts, it doesn't stop until 120 hours basically, so you can do what you want. We put on checkpoints roughly every 25 to 30 miles.
Okay.
The people that take part in it, genuinely, you get so many different, we've had one guy finish and the furthest he'd ever ran was 13 miles previously.
Hell.
He did ring me on like the 4th night, seriously, having a go at me down the phone about the field of snakes that I just sent him through. I was like, there is no field of snakes. And he's like, well, whilst we're at it, I've lost my phone. I was like, well, you're calling me off your phone, so you haven't lost your phone. Half an hour later, his mum rang me having a go at me about the field of snakes. I was just like, somebody, we need to sort this guy out.
Of course, in Pensacana Wildlife Park.
Right, he also, what else did he say? Who's the boxer? Is it Lee Salvey? Do you know much about boxing?
I'm boxing, no.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, is it Lee Salvey?
I think so.
Yeah, well,
The name
basically,
rings a bell.
he claimed that he was with Lee Salvey, and that Lee Salvey wanted to start the event. I was like, you can't start the event. And I was like, actually, this guy's hallucinating, so this guy's not even there anyway.
It's like Gaza with Ralmote when Gaza was like...
Did you see a pit bull and a boxer?
Sing it.
Oh, Gaza,
Gaza with Ralmote.
Have you seen that one actually? Was Paul Gascoigne in it?
Yeah,
Paul Gascoigne, there's a video of him...
Hello.
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 Oh, yeah.
We've got another special
We've got another guest.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I was going to say goodnight.
Want to say hello to the lads?
Hello. What's your name?
Lottie.
Oh, Brian, nice to meet you.
Are you going to do high fives?
High five. Boom! Boom!
Scott over there, can you say Scott?
Virtual high five.
Scott. Can you do a fist pump? No?
Boom!
Right, we're going to crack on with this, okay? So we'll see you in a little bit.
What are you doing?
We're doing a podcast, we are. And you're going to be on video now. Is that
Going to
cool?
be on the podcast.
You're going to wave at the cameras? Yeah? Right, I'll see you in a little bit. I love you, okay? You going to get mummy? Right, see you in a
Good
bit.
night.
He's very cute.
How old is he?
He is 3 years old, and then yesterday when I was on the show at the NEC running show, he came up with a crutch and whacked me in the nuts.
Oh.
So there's 2 different sides, but no, he's lovely. He's my world, he is. So yeah, very proud of him.
Yeah, he's going to be. Do you reckon he's going to be an ultra runner when he's older? Do you
Oh,
reckon?
100%. He's already come to the finish lines, and he gives out some of the medals. Or if he doesn't if he doesn't like the person, he doesn't give it to them and runs the opposite way. You can imagine after 50 miles, the person is like,
He's giving me my back.
He's run off of people's walking sticks previously, so yeah, he's definitely engrossed in it all, definitely. So yeah, he will be a runner.
It's such a cool environment to like
To
grow up in.
Oh, yeah,
actually,
100%.
Because I don't think, well, neither of us
Nah.
probably grew up in that environment. What about yourself? Like,
No, man, I was rugby football
Mm.
growing up, originally from Penarth, all very much team sports, and then just somehow stumbled into running and thought it was quite entertaining to see how far I could push myself.
yeah.
And like in 2010, bit the bullet and jumped in at the deep end and ran like Boston to Austin over in America.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's absolutely mental. Like didn't know what we were doing. Spent more time running it than we did planning it. So literally, it was just an absolute. I'm surprised nobody died. Put it that way.
How far is it?
2,000 miles.
What?
What?
Yeah.
And how far was this run before that?
I think I'd ran one marathon, the Las Vegas Marathon,
Bloody
Oh
hell.
my god.
and I pulled my hamstring like about 20 miles in and hobbled the last 6 miles. But
So-
just had this not addiction, but fascination with like adventure.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time working at like summer camps over in America, and like at the end of the summer you'd go travelling with your
Yeah,
friends
that's it.
and
They give you
stuff.
time to go travelling there.
Yeah, and I met my best friend called Rusty, and we were just messaging. I was like, "Oh, I really want to do an adventure," and he's like, "Oh, funny enough, I've been thinking about this challenge. Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right then." And literally, we jumped in. We blagged Puma as a sponsor. Bulldog, you ever heard of them? Like the men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were really unknown in 2010, so like they gave us some cash as well. The Puma running kit absolutely sucked. I mean, it was terrible. They gave us sailing jackets for waterproof.
Oh.
So if you're running in that, the stuff inside it
Yeah.
you'd be sweating more than.
It's like soup, isn't it?
Oh, it's horrendous.
Oh,
It was soup.
like soup. When you put like a running jacket on something, you sweat, and it just all sticks to you, and it's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh mate, these were like tents, bright green tents, and you'd lose your shit every time you had to put it on. Like you get chafing in places you didn't realise you get chafing. So your phone would break because it'd be full of sweat.
Yeah.
Because you thought you were keeping it protected and you just wouldn't. But that's where basically I learned to swim or run, I guess is what you call it.
So it was 2010. So I'm still trying to get my head around that actually, because when you said Boston, Austin, I didn't really think. I thought, oh God, I don't know. It's like 54,
Boston,
50 miles or something.
So Boston's Massachusetts, top right hand corner, call it that, and then Texas is like middle, south. But it was Austin. My mate Rusty was originally from Austin. He was living in Boston. It rhymed, and we just didn't really have GPX or anything to follow. But the way we did navigation, they'd write it on a bit of paper, and you'd literally just have it there in front of you. If you went wrong, you went wrong, and they'd end up finding you later on.
That's nuts.
How long did it take?
90 days we were on the road.
90?
I think 74 of those days we were running. We'd run for like 7 days and break on the 8th. So
Right.
we'd run for a week and then have a day off. That's how we worked it. And we'd live like each day from like motel to motel. Didn't really know where we were staying, so like we didn't know how far
Yeah, I was
our
going to say,
bodies
like,
would
did you
go
like
each
a
day.
van with you, or just staying in like...
A van. We had like a tiny sports car thing, which we thought was a clever idea at the time. And there was just no room for us. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, just in case you might pick.
Yeah, picking that up. There was just no room for anybody in there. We had 2 crew, 3 runners. We had put all our belongings on top of the car in like a bag. It was a proper adventure.
How many miles roughly a day then was it?
The first day we ran a marathon, and I just sat down in a stand-up shower with my head between my knees like this, crying. I was literally in tears because I realised I've got myself into something which I wasn't hopeful. I was hopeful, but I was just like, this is day 1.
Yeah.
I've got like so much further to go. Like,
You do 90 days.
I was broken. I actually shaved my head that night. I shaved my head off. I like went completely like feral for like the next 2
Proper
months.
David going, who's going to carry the boats?
Mate, like, we would go into Subway and like we'd buy food and stuff, and then like whilst we were buying food, our other crew would come in and they'd fill up our water bottles with like Powerade and stuff. Just like we didn't really have much money. We'd live off like Walmart meals, like which is equivalent like as the microwave meals over here, and it was just you didn't know where you'd be in every night. It was deliciously terrifying, I guess is the way you put it, because it drew you in. And it scared the crap out of you most days, especially when the weather's going bad or you got people hurtling down the road at you. We had one guy drive past us on Halloween with a scream mask on. And then he drove back the opposite way trying to scare us.
Oh, what?
I know. Another person like chucked a bottle of water out the car with us, but like, not, hey, it was like thrown at force at you.
Yeah.
Like, I just ducked out of the way, luckily. But yeah, it's
We're
also
just
like,
sticking to the roads here.
sticking to the roads
Highway.
because we didn't have GPX.
Yeah.
We literally I saw more roadkill than miles. It
That's
was
nuts. I can imagine doing that without like a watch to follow or just like a map.
Google Maps wasn't even really probably a thing.
Was
I
it?
had a
2010?
BlackBerry. That's
Yeah.
all it was. Yeah, man. I remember I locked it one day with these stupid puck codes on it, and I'd managed to
Oh, yeah, I
forget the
remember
puck
them.
code and lost my shit. I lost all the photos I'd taken on the
Ah.
But like we did have someone filming us along the routes, and they captured some amazing things. One day, this is random. I've actually got a video of it. If I had my phone, I would show you. But maybe you can just look at it another time.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll put it up on that.
We came out of the motel at like 8 a.m. in the morning. There's just something underneath our car. I'm like, what is that? And you're in America, so you know it was wild. It was wild animal underneath it. And you're like, it doesn't really look that alive. It's breathing. And then you looked in its head moved around. You're like, oh my god. It was a raccoon. It had its head stuck in a peanut butter jar. It was literally on its last legs. It had given up life. And you're like, we can't just leave this thing here. 5 minutes it took us to get this bloody raccoon out from underneath the car, and then what ensued next was just absolute mayhem. We got towels, we got a brush. It ended with my best mate swinging this raccoon around this car park, and then the raccoon was like scramming him and he let it go, and he was like, oh fuck, I gotta go back. So we went back one more time, and it was like something off like Faulty Towers. The raccoon's flying around, and it just flies off this way. The peanut butter jar goes this way. And the raccoon just lands on the floor and just looks at us for like 30 seconds, and it's just breathing. You're like, fuck! Like it's just like you actually saved this animal's life. I was shitting myself. I was like 5 yards back. I wasn't getting anywhere near that animal. But it was a feisty critter.
Yeah, they can be nasty, can't they, raccoons?
But this one was like, you could see it was
bet,
actually thankful because you saved its life.
Yeah.
And it sort of just taught me like that lesson there. And then like, if you're out running, just carry your rubbish with you when you're done with something. So many people litter. Like we get it at our events. Like we've caught somebody littering. Like one of my best friends was behind him. So like I knew what my friend was saying. It was the truth. And he picked up all this guy's rubbish for like a couple of miles.
He's just dumping it as he's running, is he?
Yeah, dumping it as he's running. And he dropped it off at the next checkpoint and told me, and we had to have a word with the guy.
Yeah.
And then he sort of changed his tune and stuff. But yeah, America with the raccoon and stuff. What else did we see? Saw like an elk. Have you ever seen an armadillo?
Yeah.
Yeah? You ever seen one which has been baked in the sun?
No. They don't do that in Folly Farm.
No, they don't. Literally, you'd see it, you'd smell it before you'd see it, and then they balloon. So when they've been baked in the sun, they balloon and they're in a shell, aren't they? After a while, that pressure builds up, and then they just fucking explode. No, they just explode. Literally. So
when it's alive or when it's dead?
When it's dead, then it's hit on the side of the road. The raccoon literally
more sense actually. I was just going to say, why would it fucking just let itself explode? Actually,
I was going to ask, are there any other like mad animals you've seen on some of your races? Like, have you seen any bears or anything? Or
I haven't seen.
I'm obsessed with grizzly bears.
I'd love to see a bear. I'm not scared of bears. I think there's a common misconception with them, isn't it?
Well, I think they say the brown bears like are more scared of us than they are
bears
of
when
them.
they attack you.
Apparently, it's the black bears, isn't it? I think that they are the ones that are
more feisty. I think.
Yeah, like they kind of just go for you. Yeah, maybe out of fear again, but they're more likely to attack apparently the black bears. But I that's the very limited knowledge. So
yeah, my sister went to Canada and she went. Her and her husband went bear watch, and they got some amazing videos of grizzly bears in like the wild and stuff. And they just look, you just look at them and think, oh, if one of them took a swipe at you, you would literally. How these people, when you see these people surviving like these bear attacks, I'm just thinking, how have we managed?
Might be like younger bears, perhaps. That if they like, because like I think a fully grown bear is like a ton or something.
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's one guy. He's a video on YouTube, and he gets attacked twice. He's videoed himself coming down the mountain, and his face is like hanging off, and he's like, I've been attacked twice. The mother attacked him, like protecting the cubs. Yeah. Thought he was dead. He started walking off, and she came out and attacked him again. Oh. But he lived.
I got the John West tuner advert in my head now.
The what?
Was in the John West tuner advert.
No.
It was like, bear.
Oh, the two bears fighting. Oh yeah.
I've had the scorpion run across my toes. That was so in Death Valley, there's like 3 opportunities to go to the toilet, and I went to one into this like shack. It's not really a toilet; it's just a hole in the ground. And I was just sitting down doing my business. I had a headlamp on because it was dark, and I saw this thing move, like little shadow, and I was like, and then the scorpion ran across the tops of my toes. I was like, oh, I hate creepy crawlies.
Yeah. Did you have shoes on at that point?
I had shoes on. I still shit myself. If I wasn't on the toilet, I still would have shit myself.
Yeah, I hate creepy
tarantulas.
crawlies. Yeah, no, I
See,
don't like
when you go to
spiders.
Death Valley, you get that kind of thing. Snakes, coyotes, they're cool.
Yeah.
Seen coyotes. Florida Keys, that is amazing. So I've taken part in the 100-miler over there, and you're going across the bridges. And if you look over the bridges, you can see the sea life in the water because the water's like crystal clear.
Yeah.
So you see manatees and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw a man
Wow.
in Florida. Yeah, they're amazing.
It's incredible. Alligators.
Yeah.
Seen those, yeah.
So with the, because you've done loads in America by the sounds of it, like in there, so you've got.
I had like an addiction to it. Yeah.
I was going to say, because you the first one to do Las Vegas Marathon, and then straight away doing the Boston to Austin. Like, what was what drew you to do it there, perhaps more so than doing it here first?
The marathon?
Well, just
it was
any
just
of
going
it.
on holiday with my mates and things and having a good laugh. Like, we all just did it as a team, I guess you call it. And like I said, pulled my leg like 6 miles from the end. So I got to the end though, and it's just like, I think I could go further if I wasn't injured. And it was just like that's what drew me into it. And like America, it's got a lot of issues going on, obviously, like most countries, but like the nature over there is just something else. Like Death Valley is just a different world. Mount Whitney, like the Sierra Nevada mountains, the Poconos, like all these beautiful places which like they've got an abundance of them. Like, I think one of the best things they've ever done as a nation is that the national parks, man, they know how to do it completely, and like they've looked after these absolutely beautiful places. And I think that's what the draw was. It's that sense of adventure. Like over here, Wales is amazing. Like we're unrivaled with like beautiful, like in terms of like the small nature of our country, like the amount of mountains we got, and castles and history, it's just beautiful. Yeah. But as a younger lad, I don't think I appreciated that as much as I do now.
Do you know what? Yeah, like you said, I think I've never fancied America actually in that sense. But now you've said that, now you've said that, like the sense of adventure, because it is so vast, isn't it? Like it's huge. You know, it is absolutely huge. And like you said, I can imagine there's like a couple of different continents all in one, really, isn't it? Because like you go, you've got Alaska up to the left or whatever, which is all snowy and stuff. Then you go over to the right, you got New York, which is like proper urban and stuff. Then like you see, you go down to the south towards like Texas way and everything, and it's all rural and.
The Bayou.
The Bayou, that's Florida, isn't it?
Yeah, like deep south.
Oh, that's New Orleans, isn't it?
Yeah, that's in New Orleans, yeah.
So you've done. You've got the 2,000-miler.
Death Valley's in Las Vegas, is it?
So Death Valley is like Nevada / California. So I've done like Badwater 135.
Big
like,
Badwater.
It's 135 miles, like the hottest place on earth. Yeah. I can attest to that.
Is that actually the hottest place on earth?
Yeah, it's fucking hot. The hottest place on earth is called Furnace Creek.
It literally says here, 56.7 degrees. I don't know which camera I'll point that out.
How can you...
We've got places called like Devil's Golf Course, for Christ's sake. Like they try to intimidate you with the words over there, the naming of the places. But yeah, it's hot. Yeah. But it's one of those things over here. You know, when you go out and it's freezing cold in the winter time, you get accustomed to the cold. Yeah. You go over there, you go in the heat, you get accustomed to the heat. If you train your body enough, it is manageable. It's just when you push it too far over the edge, where like if you're trying to work too hard, that's when things go wrong.
Yeah. How long did it take you to do the Badwater?
The official one was 42 hours. But before that, so I went over in 2014 and just ran the route myself for charity. I went back the year later and doubled it. So 2015, I ran one way and then turned around and came back the opposite way, so 270 miles. Went back the year later, did it again, just the one way. Went back a year later again, did it. I just wanted to get accustomed out there, and like. Yes, it's 135 miles on tarmac. Yes, it's boiling hot, but like
it's all tarmac, is it?
It's all tarmac. It's on one road pretty much the whole way. The climbs out there. People think, sometimes people think desert. They think flat. First year I went over there, I thought that. No, it's not. It's fuck me. It was. I think there was 3 mountain ranges you had to go over, all on road. Yeah. The first climb is like 16 miles. You start at I think you start. Well, when you start the actual challenge, you're below sea level. Yeah. And then that 16-mile climb takes you about 6,000 foot up. You drop down into this incredible valley. It's called Panamint Valley. And it's where the jet fighters train.
Oh, yeah.
And they love showing off. So they will, like, dust you. Like, they'll come up really close to you and, like, you can feel the vibrations of it, man. It's amazing. And you drop in, and you've probably all seen like the famous lone runner running across Death Valley, like that's Panamint Valley. And then you go up a thing called Father Crowley Pass, which I think is about 9 miles uphill. And then even when you get to 122 miles in, the final 13 miles is like that. And you finish like 8,000 foot up.
Is that why you like chucking hills in at the end of the Pegasus?
I love it. I want to
Everyone's like, little hill at the end of the rhythm. I was like, it's got to be the end now. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I just want to prepare people for Badwater. So you can go and do it.
The Edom was nice actually, because like you said, I think, I looked at the splits on that, and it's like you say, you go up like that, and then it's like whoop, doo, 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 up and down, up and down, and down, down like that, and then all of a sudden, like at the end, it's just down like that for the last sort of 2 miles, maybe 3 miles, something like that. Yeah, it's just downhill, because that was
it's quite a while actually downhill, isn't it?
It's a pleasant ending to it. I was chafed up to fuck though by that point, and I was like,
mate, I get leaky nipple quite often when I run.
I don't get it on my nipples.
Do you not?
No, I don't get it.
Like when
I
I get my
younger,
gooch.
I'm so bad. I came up with a product which I'm still, so nobody copy it. Called Nippies, and they were going to be little stickers for your nipples with smiley faces on.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like fluorescent colours though. So
that's class.
Yeah, never got around to doing it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm scared of the Edom, but I'm looking forward to it.
Don't be scared of it.
As well.
Be scared of the cannon.
I am scared of the cannon.
Yeah, the Edom was amazing. Like, I just found it crazy, the fact that there's 50 miles and I seen 2 people, and they were from the army base.
Do you know what? I think that's the reason we put it on, because you are desolate out there. It's like, you won't come across other people. Like,
No.
You've already touched upon it with the army base being so close to it, and it is technically on the army base, but it's around the army base. So people think, if you didn't do your research, you think you're going to get shot for running up there. Like the first time I ever went up there recceing it, I was petrified I was going to stand on something and just explode right in front of me. You probably saw it yourself, like they're terrible for ditching their bullets up there, and like cartridges and stuff like that.
Everywhere, literally.
And every year you tell everybody, please don't pick up any cartridges.
I was going to say, no, I'd pick them up here.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I bet every year somebody comes across the finish line and go, oh, look what I found.
I'll come across the line, it's like Rambo. Not like that, Rhys.
I hope he not be giving that.
She'd be like,
I'll come commando rolling down the road.
I've had one person finish it, win it, and say, why don't you reverse it as well? So like double it. And I was like,
oh.
So maybe one year, we're gonna do some special things in our 10th year. I think we're like in our 7th or 8th now.
Yeah.
We got a few more years to go. So
Yeah, I was going to say how long it's been coming, because I think I heard of it, I can't remember when I fished it, but it was a couple of years ago, because I remember I had my eyes in the Vogue, because it was like closest to Swansea, so I thought, that'd be a good one. But I wasn't sure when it first started.
2018.
2018 was the first one.
Yeah. I just wanted the ultramarathon that finished in my hometown, which is Penarth.
So Vogan was the first one, was it?
Where it kicked off, it's the first event was it went well, but it was a bit of a shambles in comparison to where we are now with it. And like the first checkpoint for our first ever event, so it's my old man that was there. Didn't fucking he got lost on the way to the checkpoint. So there was no checkpoint there. So I was legging it down the road with these 2 big jerry cans of stuff to like Murphy Mara, which you'd be familiar with. But we must have done something right. We just treated people with respect and looked after them. And more people have come back every year. So it's cool.
Well, like you said, I mean, the Rhythm is the last one of the year, isn't it? The 30, because I done the Rhythm, the Edom, and then the Rhythm. And it was 300 people?
Yeah.
300 people, like proper fully subscribed waiting list and stuff. And like you said, I don't know, ultra running has become more popular, but that's a lot of people, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's just...
I think the big thing is the cut-offs, because like people get scared of cut-offs. I remember like when I did my first ultra run, walk, crawl, I was like looking at the cut-off, and they're great as well, but I was looking at the cut-off, I was like, should be able to get there, but you're worrying about it, but like with Pegasus, there's no cut-offs, you take that stress away.
Never have, never will do with Pegasus. It's always no cut-off times. It just eliminates that level of stress for anybody that's trying to get into the sport.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we take great pride in. It's lovely having people finish the events, but like when they say it's their first one, like, it just means a little bit more to us in terms of, it's really cool that we've managed to get people across the finish line. Like some race directors, pride themselves on high DNF rates. I fucking hated the high DNF rate. I want people to finish. I've got loads of medals I've got to go to waste. I'm joking, obviously. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Eliminate the cut-off times, and it eliminates that level of pressure. The phone calls are fantastic. So we phoned every single runner.
Yeah.
I was in the bathroom, rang me for the moment. I said that in the first episode.
I've had people on the toilet. As
I said that in the
too.
first episode.
He said this in the first episode. What did it
I was in the bath. I was like, I've been expecting this.
I've had people in hospitals picking up the phone. Like, why are you picking up the phone when you're in hospital? But people are like, why'd you do it? And it's just, well, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, it's a
it
great
gives you a
chance,
level of
yeah.
confidence, but it gives us confidence. You know what you're getting yourself in for.
Yeah.
And you can sometimes understand if somebody's a bit nervous just from the way they're speaking, and then you just try to calm them down.
You don't just feel like a number. Like it's like everyone goes on about the Pegasus family. You do actually feel like a little family. Like all the people I've met through just the I've only done the 2 races, but I've met so many people through that.
Well, it's funny you should say the 300 number. Like that's the first time we've ever hit that number. It's amazing, but like that's where we think we would never go over that now. We'd always keep it 300.
Yeah.
Mainly because I can't do over 300 phone calls. It's just our infrastructure. We're small, we're independent. I want to have a fun day looking after people. I don't want to have a stressful day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's stressful, but it's 300 is where we stop it with Pegasus because of the personal touch.
The aid stations are class as well.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
The She Runs Cardiff girls. I always say that they're. Do you try the potatoes?
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
I was just saying.
Oh my god, they're like everyone will go to potatoes now. Because I remember when I first got done on Vogue, and I was like, "Do you want a potato?" I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Do you want a potato?" I was like, "Oh, go on, I'll try one." I was like, "Oh my god, this is a game changer!" It was like the whole box.
They had them in the bloody turtle run actually, so they must have copied it. Yeah, they had them, but they think it was -2 all fucking day on Saturday doing that. So the roast potatoes were freezing.
Like ice cubes.
It was so cold. Yeah, like you said, they were nice, but like they were just so fucking cold. But yeah, like I remember the ones in on the Edam and stuff, and like because you told me about them, didn't you?
Yeah.
You told me about them, and when I came to the aid station, I went, right, where are these fucking roast potatoes? I was like, I need some of these. Yeah, good.
She Runs ladies are amazing. Like they've really transformed our events. Like we've obviously done what we can, but like just in terms of like having like their impact on our events, just to make the roast potatoes. They do so much more than the roast potatoes. Like seriously, they're just an amazing group of ladies.
What's it called? Sorry, you say She
Runs Cardiff.
She Runs Cardiff. Yeah, I'd heard of it, and I see because I think I ran past them in one of the aid stations in I'm not sure if it was the Ridham or the Edam, and I thought I joined the wrong race. I think because they
all purple, aren't they?
Yeah, because they were like, I said, is this like the park run or something? I was a bit like, and they were like, no, you're in the right place. Because by this point I was like quite far in, I think, as well. So yeah, my head was a bit shot anyway. Like, but it threw me off. Because I think that was it. I think I nearly ran past. I thought they were there for somebody else, but they were like, no, come here.
They were up to you on the side, weren't they? On the Ridham, they were, as you went up the hill, they were like tucked away in the side. People were like,
maybe that's where I think
in the nature reserve, isn't it? Round by there.
That's where the guy with no shoes went shoot past me, and I was like, how did he catch up with me?
He still owes us a pair
Yeah.
of shoes.
I couldn't believe that. He like,
I
passed him, and I was like, he's like, oh yeah, I've rung ahead, I'm going to get some shoes now at the next aid station. I was thinking, it's going to be forever. Got to the aid station, I took a bite of a Freddo, and he's like, shoot. I was like, how the hell's he caught up with me?
People love the Freddos. It's like trail treasure. The amount of people that come to me afterwards, you just see them stuffing their pockets with them. I'm like, they're so expensive.
They're not 10p anymore, they used to be in the 90s.
Yeah.
If you get a good deal at the moment, it's like 5 for £1.
Oh, is it?
20
Yeah.
pence.
Yeah, funny enough, I've been like, when I've done the Pegasus events, that's where I've taken as well. So you can just
you've been stealing my Freddos?
I have, yeah. Because literally, you go like that, and you can chuck a couple in the pockets. Anyway, like you said, yeah, they're great, to be honest. And naked bars, I've been finding. I said this twice on the podcast, but I've been finding those really good because they're like 20 grams of like carbs, and they're all like natural. They haven't got any shit in them or additives and stuff. And yeah, I don't know, I just find they're quite like moist as well, so I'm just whacking those down, so that may be a good one too.
Rice crispy squares are good as well, and Serene that you didn't know.
Serene.
Serene and butter.
Yeah.
That's been around for years.
He mentioned it on the first episode, didn't he?
Yeah,
He said, I tell you what's good, Serene, and I was like,
Yeah.
I said, who the fuck is Serene? I didn't know.
The tennis player.
It can be quite chewy. Like I had one last run, I was trying to eat, I was like trying to breathe down this mountain, I was trying to eat the Serene, I was like, I'm going to heart attack now. I was like, he's quite hard, but Rice Krispie squares are they go down easy. Rice Krispie squares.
Don't ever try baby food and ginger ale.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Yeah, I thought I was on something. Like
Baby food and ginger ale.
On the side of a canal, I was like, I was just like, I wasn't eating much. I was like, okay, let's get some baby food and the sash, the square, there's kitchen stuff. And I took one of those on, and then I was like, my favourite drink is ginger ale because it's good for your stomach.
Yeah.
I just took it all in, and it just went. Like you put Mentos in. Yeah, that went on for like 15, 16 hours.
Really?
Yeah. 15, 16 hours?
Oh mate, I was in a hell of a state. That was just on a canal race in the UK. I ended up in hospital. I like going to hospital, yeah.
Jesus.
Do you know what? I do love a ginger beer actually, but I'm glad you said
The ginger
that,
beer and
because I'm
ginger
not
ale the
gonna
same
fucking-
thing.
Without the ginger beer's got the fizz, doesn't it? I
Yeah.
think it's
Ginger ale's like still, is it?
carbonated.
It's a little bit
Yeah.
softer.
Yeah.
I like ginger beer.
Yeah, it's
Don't
good.
ever mix it with baby food.
Christ.
No, it's
I'd
blowing
be like
my
that
mind.
now.
Pizza, I like pizza. as
Yeah,
well.
pizza.
Do you say you've been in hospital a few times on runs, have you? Or
That
no?
one, Cerys took me to hospital
Yeah.
afterwards, and they were like, "He's fine, just get him home." And she literally had to spoon feed me coconut water for like 24 hours
Oh my
to
God.
get stuff back in. It was horrendous. Hospital, yes, over in America.
Yeah.
That was quite the experience. And Cerys just walked in there.
That was very stealthy. Sorry.
I was impressed.
Oh, this is a chill podcast anyway, yeah.
You heard your name. So over in, I was doing Badwater.
Yeah.
This is like 2022. Was it? I'm not gonna ask. It was 2022, and it was 2022, wasn't it? And I think 10 miles into 135 mile race, I pulled my hamstring. I was like, I like pulling my hamstring quite a bit, and I battled on to like mile 97. But I mean, there was warning signs of like something was wrong. I was being sick a few times. I was cramping up really badly. If you're cramping up so badly that you're willing to lay on the floor in Death Valley when it's boiling hot, you know there's something going on there. And mile 97 is where the wheels came off quite extraordinarily, is the best way of putting it. I was running with the guy who was next to me. He was like, it's like a chaperone, I guess, at that point, to make sure you're okay. And he can talk, and sometimes I just ignore him and don't listen to him and just like don't communicate back. I do that quite a bit when you need to just tick over and keep on moving. So he was just like, oh well, this isn't really uncommon for him. He does this quite often, so we'll just let him continue on his way. And mile 97 hit, and all hell broke loose. Literally, I pooped myself on the side of the road in Death Valley, and it wasn't a case of just a considerate poop which you could hide. It was just explosive. You could see it. You wear white over there, so you can imagine the scenes that were going on.
We love a shit yourself story, don't we?
I was. You took the words out of my mouth. Then I was going to say you. You do love a shit yourself story.
They have like 97 miles into this 135 mile race. Could have been worse. It could have been 100 miles, and then I would have been really like pissed at myself. But they ended up the course doctor pulled along and took one look at me, and said, "Yeah, you need to go to the hospital now." The guy, I was incoherent. Like the only way they got me in the car was promising me that I could get back out again, and they said I was like the Duracell bunny. I was moving really efficiently.
Yeah.
Apart from I was just covered in obviously human feces. And they just opened the door and chucked me in the car, and that was the end of it. And they drove me off to the hospital, and I was knocked out for like 12 hours.
Can I just say something?
What have I forgotten?
No, nothing. It's just when you say you were like a Duracell bunny,
Yeah.
that is actually a thing. So when your brain shuts down, your body remembers the last thing that you were doing. So
Oh,
it
is it?
carries on doing it. So his brain had gone, but his body just remembered that his legs were moving, so they just carry on.
Oh, that's mad.
My last memory was it's quite famous. The Death Valley Welcome to Death Valley sign. It's massive. It's like the size of a house. And another guy that I was with, was like, "Oh, well done, you've got out of the hottest part. Like, we're gonna get there. You're gonna be okay." Because I've been battling, and I was like, "Nah, that sign's not there." And he's like, "What do you mean? The sign is right by there." I was like, "Nah, that's not, you're hallucinating." He's like, "No, you're hallucinating. The sign is fucking there."
I think, am I really kicked in shit?
Yeah, I know. And then spent 12 hours knocked out in hospital. They woke me up, and the hospital was no bigger than this room that we're in. It was tiny, really nothing there.
I can imagine like little like hospital in the middle of nowhere.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, but they got me on FaceTime to Cerys as soon as I woke up, and I didn't recognise who she was for like 3 minutes. I was just like a zombie, completely out of it. Like still not always. I just wasn't there. Like the lights were on, but nobody was home. And it transpired I had like 3rd stage kidney failure and like rhabdomyolysis. My body was in shutdown. If I'd carried on, I would have ended up having dialysis for the rest of my life.
Bloody hell.
And rhabdomyolysis is something which you need to be aware of, but it only happens in the perfect storm, and it was the perfect storm. I pulled my muscle 10 miles, and then I just fought through. You know, I just thought things would get better, and it didn't. It got a lot worse, and I remember the doctor just sort of coming in and saying, look, we don't know whether you're still dying. And I said, what do you mean by that? They're like, well, we think we've stabilised you, but we're not in a hospital. We're in a hospital, but we're not in a hospital. Like, the way they were doing the bloods, they were taking the bloods out of me, giving it to the janitor, and the janitor was having to drive 4 hours up the road to get them tested.
Oh,
from a
shit.
proper hospital. And then he'd ring back and say, he's okay, he's not dying. And so then he'd drive back and they go, here's some more bloods. And they just kept on repeating that. And what happened was they got worried. They thought they'd stabilised me, but it could easily just carry on. And they ordered an air evacuation in for me. So you can imagine he was like Top Gun. He's like pilots walking in orange jumpsuits. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's mad.
The doctor's next to me and she's like, yeah, I think we're going to have to just get you out of here. I was like, how much is that? And she's like, what do you mean how much is that? I was like, how much is this going to cost me? Because I don't want to be here. And she was like, $65,000, or it's like $50,000 or something. And I was like, no, I just can't do this. And then whilst this was going on, we had the insurance company on the other line saying, yeah, we're not, his insurance is void, we're not covering him. So you've got this horrible, do I take the flight for 50 grand, you know? And I just made that choice of it was like a life or death, or you're risking a life. But sort of spoke to Cerys, spoke to our doctor back home about like, what should we do? And we just said, listen to the body. And we listened to the body, and I was just like, I think I'd know now that I'm in the right state of mind if I was getting worse. And they just gave me like another 8 hours and I pulled it through and it was fine. But I walked out of that hospital, like, and the guy that was running with me was outside, like, they'd been, 24 hours in there and they hadn't seen me. And we just literally fell into each other's arms and like started crying. Like, he thought I was dead. And he's like a specialist paramedic. And do you want to hear the twisted thing? So, as a joke, as he was like one of the crew that were looking after me, and he's a specialist paramedic, of course, so he has access to all these wonderful weird tools. He brought a body bag with him. He almost ended up fucking using that body bag on me. He bought the body bag as like an icing to throw me in if I needed quickly cooling. So now I always like wind him up saying, you brought a body bag.
That's insane.
That's the time I shit myself and almost died, really.
That's a good shit myself.
That's a very good shit.
I wasn't expecting anyone died.
Yeah, I know. It proper got
Jesus
serious. Like,
Christ.
Cerys is...
What?
it was really dramatic.
I was going to say, like, how did you go from that and then go, I'm going to go and do this or something like this again? Like, what was the, like, you know, how did you step back into that? Because obviously it's, like you said, probably a very traumatic experience for like yourself and other people and stuff. So it's like, how would you...
Yeah, I think it's making that decision in my mind that I know that I just wouldn't go that deep anymore.
Yeah.
I'd like to know that I'd spot the warning signs sooner, but I had 4 other people with me and none of them spotted them as well. And that's not blaming them at all. I just mean observing it is one of those things that catches you out at the end of the day. And it almost ended with obviously in the worst case possible. But no, in terms of getting back to stuff, I guess you can't focus on it too much because you'd scare yourself and you wouldn't do anything that you love doing ever again.
And the kidney failure then, so obviously you've got, like you said, the rhabdo would have been coming from the injury with it, like, and then because you kept on sustaining it, would it, the kidney failure just be like the dehydration or the heat exhaustion, is it, or just
combination of everything really? They did test on me afterwards and I got back in the UK and there's like signs that I had COVID and all that jazz as well. I was like, I don't think I had COVID, but whatever. It was just like a perfect storm. The muscle tear, the heat, the elevated heart rate because I'm working harder to get my body moving forward, and then just obviously the exhaustion of doing 97 miles on your body. It was just
What would you say was the hardest one you've done? Because you've done, like, I didn't even know you did it. I knew you did Leadville and Badwater and
the Welsh coastal part.
Welsh coastal part, and John of course to Land's End the other way around, and I think
John's coat.
John's coat, yeah. You've done John's coat. Like obviously, like what's the worst or the most, I don't know, the most horrific one you've done? Do you reckon?
That was a traumatic episode.
Yeah.
Doing that, finishing the event a couple of years before was probably the most magical thing to have achieved over in America. The Wales coastal path were just doing it in your home country and getting to spend a lot of time with your friends, family, like me and Cerys did the whole thing together.
I watched it the other
Oh,
day.
did you?
I've seen it before, but I watched it again. I was like, I'm going to watch it now again.
So like that finish line, like you get a lot of people these days that like plan what they're gonna do. Like I did not have a fucking clue what I was gonna do until like 2-3 steps away, and then when I finished, I ended up punching the air, spin around, and I just grabbed Cerys. It was just animalistic. It was just like that's what took over me, so I just went with it. And it was just one of those moments where there's lots of people there. It just felt really personal for me and Cerys, like that symbolism of just finishing that amazing achievement. And I'm just going to let the cat out.
I was just going to say, yeah, I could hear a cat, yeah.
Is this the one on Russell Beach?
Say again?
Is this the one that finished on Russell Beach or something?
No,
that's the
that's
walk,
that's
that
one
was.
of the. Oh yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Chris walks UK and Dan.
Yeah,
Dan walks UK. No, Chris walks UK.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he walked around the whole of the UK. That guy did.
Come in then, yeah.
He's gone out now.
Oh, right.
He's a cat with attitude.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, what was it like running? Like, you run like 40 odd miles a day, didn't you?
43 hours.
And the last 2 days were like 50 plus miles.
Yeah, what's it like just like wake up and be like, right, I'm going to run like 40 odd
It's
miles?
weird, mate. You get into a pattern and you
Yeah.
just follow that pattern. It's the same when we did the 2,000 mile run. Like first
Yeah.
2 weeks. No, if you break it up into thirds, so the first third was just break, not knowing what the fuck we were doing. The second third was almost like a plateau, like you're just surviving, and then the final third was just thriving, and you just know that you're getting close to the finish line.
Yeah.
You take more risks. Like I said, the final 2 days were like 50 mile plus days, and it's because I got behind the record and stuff like that. But the record was never the motivation. The motivation was doing the challenge.
Doing it, yeah.
The record we used as a way of getting attention for the charities.
Yeah.
That's the reason we do it.
Yeah.
It's just to you get more eyes on you, and then you get your message out there better. That's the reason.
Because it was 20 hours and 20 days. And
20 fucking
20 hours.
Was it a car?
That was a Strava fuck up.
Yeah.
20 days
20
and
days.
8 hours. Was that right? 20
20
days?
days and like something like it was like 10 hours, but there was like a 2 hour. I beat the record by like 2 hours, which is nothing over that time. And like my coach the night before we finished was like, "You have to sleep in the back of the van." I was like, "I want to go home and sleep. I'm out to my house." He's like, "No, because you'll get up later. And, you know, there's a chance you won't make it." Like even halfway through that day, people didn't really think. A few days before, people were writing me off and stuff, and I love shit like that because it just winds me up and then makes me go harder. And then I just put my middle finger up to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had it previously in terms of other challenges that were difficult. Ran across Iceland in April time. Didn't research the weather. It was fucking apocalyptic. I remember having to get picked up at the side of the road just to get warm, and I ended up cuddling a Fanta bottle which was full of hot water. I was like a shivering wreck on that trip. I mean, the weather, I've never experienced anything like that. It was headwind for the whole like 250 miles, freezing cold conditions.
What was it? Minus 20, is it? Something like that?
I don't think it's minuses like that, but it was like colder than Wales.
Yeah.
When you're wet, it gets really bad, and then the wind alone, you could see the storms ahead of you. I've ran through a few storms previously. It's quite entertaining when you're in America, and the warning. You know, we've had it recently, like on our mobile phones.
Yeah.
They love playing
It's like
that.
the Purge,
in America,
isn't it?
Literally.
I was on a meal. It's like a. I was like, what the
Yeah.
I was in a fucking ice bath and sauna place, so the old chilled spa music on, and like it went off my phone, so I heard like somebody else's phone going and my phone going and stuff, and they said on my watch, what was it, like whatever the
It was a storm.
severe alert, yeah, but it doesn't come up as a storm. All I seen was like, you know, critical alert, you know, something like that. I thought nuclear war. Instantly, that's where my brain went. I was like, fuck. Looked at my phone, weather alert. I went, oh, shut up, man. I was like, we'll be in the sea later, man.
20-foot waves.
That's the world we're living in now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mental. But we've had that where we've had to like cower in a car before because like you can see the what's it
Tornado,
called?
is that?
Twisters. I think
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
tornadoes like whipping in. You're like, fuck me. I've had like a dry dust storm over in Death Valley where like because you get the long road, you can see it.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, it's not coming that way. And then you're like, oh fuck, it's right in front of you. And I've like made a point of running through it before because it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's incredible, man. You just wrap your glasses on, put a mask on. It's just like one of those experiences. I had to do it. I have to do this. Otherwise, I'll never do it in my lifetime. But yeah, weather conditions. I'm really terrible in the cold weather. So if you put me in the pissing down rain, I hate it, but I will do it anyway. Other challenges that have been difficult for reasons that you wouldn't necessarily associate with challenges. So like can I say the C word?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Cool. Cycling.
Oh, we hate cyclists. I hate cycling.
So have you ever heard of the Alpe d'Huez? Never heard of it, have you?
No,
You ever heard of
Alpe
the Tour de France?
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. You know, like when they do the mountain stages like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's a famous
Like
one where
this
they do
with
like
camera.
21 hairpin bends.
I think my father's done that. My father's gone and done bits of it with his friends. 'Cause
Yes.
He loves cycling, yeah.
So that's from a journey when we went over to France,
I can
basically.
take pictures
But
of it.
what happened was we were supposed to cycle from the Rome in Italy,
Mm.
so the Colosseum to the Arc de Triomphe, and we went to the.
Oh, I forgot you got the...
I got my whole show and tell.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
going to say, yeah, we've got
show
some
and tell.
loads of props. I love it.
So there's my prop. So we went to the
Whoa.
Roman Colosseum. It's only a cheap €1.
Yeah,
Roman
that's
hand.
class.
It's
Anyway.
proper brass though, that isn't it? I think it probably feels heavy.
It's not, mate. It's cheap. But what happened was we was a non-stop cycle. So if it was the three of us, you'd cycle for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You, me, and we'd keep on going like that. And anyway, we went to start. The guys there in his Lycra, ready to kick us off. We'd left all our stuff in the support vehicle. I was like, I'm going to buy this memento, so I just got that in my pocket. And we set the guy off on his way, and then we went back to the support vehicle, and like, I've parked in the wrong fucking car park. Where have we parked this car? We've lost the car. We put it. Couldn't find this car. Anyway, 2 hours later, whilst this guy's still cycling off down the road, we come to the conclusion that actually, if we hadn't lost the vehicle, it had been stolen with everything in it. So somebody had robbed us in pure daylight, taken everything that we owned in that moment, apart from the bike and the guy that was in Lycra, and like 1 or 2 mobile phones. And we were like, oh my god, we have fucked up massively here. Like, we've lost everything, our whole infrastructure. And we just went to the airport because it was the safest place. We thought it was just a general place where we thought we're not going to get robbed again, we'll just go there. I remember ringing my old man and I was like, yeah, we've messed up. And he's like, oh, you're an idiot, you should have called me earlier. I was like, what do you mean? What are you going to do? He's like, have you ever heard of trackers? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, there's a tracker on the vehicle, you can go and find it. And like, we got the location, and we like got the taxi and went straight there to find us. And I was like, we were like pumped up, like, I just want my stuff back. Didn't really think about anything that'd be waiting for us. Anyway, we got to the vehicle, it had been gutted, they'd taken everything. On the front seat was a bin bag. In the bin bag, they'd left our passports. So they'd taken everything else and left our passports. It was just almost like a get the fuck out, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, we ended up having the charity, and the charity like, I was so sorry to hear this.
Yeah.
And then they put out a post just saying, obviously this isn't happening. These guys have been robbed. And what happened was, up to that point, we'd raised like £500. Within 24 hours, it was like just below £10,000.
Oh my god.
To which then we thought, well, we've kind of obliged now. We need to do this.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
And 4 of us, maybe 5 of us, shared cycling kit for 4 or 5 days. round the clock. If you've ever shared warm bib shorts and you put Sudocrem on, none of our kit was being washed. So we were having to switch in and out of this kit.
That was really vinegary.
Vinegar, it was just... vinegar's not how I would describe it. Vinegar smells kind of clean. This was just absolute feral. But we did it. And I think that challenge, it's quite a cool story now.
Yeah.
But like the fact that we got robbed and lost everything, that's what made that difficult.
I love that kind of stuff though. Like you said, it's especially the not getting robbed and that. Not getting robbed.
You're wearing 3D pants out of the
Yeah,
bag.
not sharing spandex. I don't like that. But do you know what? Like that ends up being so memorable, though, doesn't it? Like you said, I think at the time you're like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. But then, like you said, just by chain of events and like a bit of like, I suppose stroke of luck or fortune or whatever you want to call it, the universe just playing its part. Like all of a sudden, then that extra money's been raised for the charity. That the exposure for the charity, but also then, like you said, it's made you think, actually, yeah, I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna do it, and it's just. Even though it's a horrible thing, it ends up being like a good thing in a way, I suppose. It's like that Taoist story, that one. The was it the farmer and his son? Yeah, farmer and his son, something like that. Basically, a Taoist story. I think farmer loses his horse runs away. So all his neighbours are like, oh, what terrible luck, and he's like, oh, maybe. Next day, loads of wild horses turn up, and they're like, oh, what amazing luck. He says, oh, maybe. Next day, his son is like ploughing the field, whatever, falls, breaks his leg. They're like, oh, what terrible luck. He says, maybe. Next day, then the army come into town looking to recruit soldiers for battle, but they pass his house by because his son's got a broken leg, and they're like, "Oh, what amazing luck." He says maybe, and it's like the story is kind of like you never really know the full extent of something, even though it seems like a bad thing, it might lead to a good thing, and it's kind of taking things as they come almost, and I suppose it's hard to do when you've just been fucking robbed in a foreign place.
Do you know what?
But,
I'm similar to that mindset of like, it's just the universe delivering, like in terms of what's happened, and somebody it made us more determined. Well, I was determined straight away. I was like, well, fuck this, I'll just get on the bike and do it myself if nobody else is up for it. And then after a while, like the rest of them got encouraged to do it, and we just did it as a team by the end of it. So it was just one of those things. And now I've got a story to tell about it. The charity got exposure, and they got a load of money for it as well. So maybe it was meant to happen there and then. Yeah, I don't dwell on it. If anything, it's kind of, you know, it excites me that we actually managed to navigate that, and it taught me a lot of lessons about myself.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to say, the lessons wise, now what do you reckon? I seem to be on the spot now. What are the 3 key lessons that you've learned from doing?
Don't get robbed in Rome. What 3 lessons have I learned
from doing all the stuff that you've done? Like just maybe 3 things that stick with you.
Keep humble, I guess. Just always. I think I've heard that famous. I don't even know if it's that famous, but it's like, let me get this right now. Your stories. It should never be a fortress. Your story should always be a fuel. So it just means you're always constantly moving forward and striving forward. Also, in terms of whatever lessons have I learned about myself or other people,
anything, the world, just.
If you had told me when I was playing football and rugby that I'd have like a career in running and race director, I never would have believed you. Like, I genuinely, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm never going to be the richest, but I just have this knack, I guess, of being able to hang on when shit gets really tough. I think the more shit you go through in life, the more grit you get to apply to these challenges, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Like, usually the charities you're fundraising for, the people that are having to use those charities or are leaning on them don't have a fucking choice. We always have a choice if you're putting yourself in that firing line to do what you want to be doing at the end of the day, and I think sometimes people forget that right now. What else have I learned? Talking about stuff, like if you're suffering during an event, if you're suffering in life, I think it's very much parallel with one another. Where if you just talk about stuff, it alleviates pressure off you. Like I've done it in challenges, I've done it in personal life. Like one of the main causes we run for now is child abuse charities, and it's because my wife was abused as a child. Like she has survived that, and it's just one of those things whereby we used to support like the NSPCC, great charity, does a lot of great work, but actually speaking to Cerys, my wife, who's a survivor, who's like my inspiration, it was like the NSPCC are cool, but surely there's a charity out there which is doing more. And like we found a charity called the Lucy Faithfull Foundation, who, what they do is they find the perpetrators before they perpetrate. So if somebody's got a feeling about perpetrating something, Lucy Faithfull, they talk them down off actually perpetrating. So they're stopping it before it gets going. And this is a small charity which is doing amazing work. It's just one of those things whereby child abuse is like you talk about it more, you drag it forward out the dark and into light, you make it more of a common thing to talk about. And if somebody is going through it and they're surviving it and whatnot, it just makes it more comfortable. Like when we ran John's Coats, or John O'Groats the Land's End, we did that for Lucy Faithfull Foundation. And what happened was we had people come out and run with us, and like, we never realised, never in a million years would we think this would happen. They come out and run like a whole half day with you, or they'd run with you for a long time, and then after a few hours, you get that feeling that somebody's got a story, and you give, you have that opportunity to speak about it. And the amount of survivors that we had come and run with us who had gone through child abuse, some of them were family and friends which you've known for years. But in that moment of just going through John O'Groats to Land's End, they felt it was a safe environment to talk about it for like the first time with some people. Yeah. And it's just one of those things, you can't go into a challenge and say that's going to happen. But for me, that's why I'm doing it, for people to talk about it. So for me, that's the best thing that could have come out of that, is you speak to people about it. So, yeah, there you go. I love that. That's like amazing, actually. And it's like what you said there, it gives people permission, I think, doesn't it? Or like the space, or it gives people permission to themselves, I think, to, like you said, feel comfortable with talking about it, actually, because I think like a lot of the time people, they might have experienced these different things,
but it's only when they see somebody then like yourself who, you know, go in there and actually raising awareness about that, they kind of go, actually, do you know what? Yeah, no, like, and they relate to it, like, it almost ignites something in themselves, I find. Like, I think, example I got for that really is doing the 100 miler on Swansea Bay, which is the third attempt. It did it for a charity which was like, you know, close to my heart, but it was one of my best mates, they lost the baby, you know, really like just a week before the due date. And it was like, everybody fucking felt that, you know what I mean? I think everybody felt that. And it was like, for me, that was a strong why. But I think so many people turned up on the day. Some people I didn't even know, like a lot of people didn't even know turned up. And everybody was running PBs and shit like that. Like there was one guy running his first marathon, and one guy, I'm sure somebody done their first ultra marathon. Loads of people done their first half and 10Ks and stuff. And like, I don't know, like I said, that not all of them have maybe gone through that experience, but I think what I'm trying to say is, I kind of, like you said, when people see you go into that extent to do something that you're passionate about and that is making a difference, it just ignites this thing in other people, you know, to maybe, to push themselves or to do something that, I don't know, spreads that message further. I don't know.
I think you're right.
Going off on a bit of a tangent with that one. I don't know if that makes sense.
No.
But
so me and Cerys have suffered multiple problems, like miscarriages over the years, like quite recent years actually. And I think you doing something like that would draw us to that event or what, you know, the challenge, or to back you and support you, because it shows that you care about that cause. I think what I found is as well, going through miscarriages, obviously you speak to your partner and stuff, but as a man, it's almost like a taboo subject where you can't speak to other men about it. It's utter bullshit. Like, you talk to whoever you want about it. Everybody suffers with it, and I've suffered with it. It's one of those things at the end of the day. It's shit. But like I said, seeing people do stuff like that, and being a father now, lucky to have a 3-year-old boy, it just makes it, like you said earlier, you're a bit of a mess when it comes to stuff like that. I'm not calling you a mess, obviously. But I know emotionally physical mess.
No, but it's like you said as well, like people like, you know, doing these charities that YouTube have done, but you're shedding light on smaller charities that are doing just a good job with the bigger charities but haven't got a limelight on them. Like, what's the one a lot of people are doing in the Pegasus? Is it Big Moose, is it?
A lot of them do it for that.
Yeah, because that's quite small. That's still quite a small charity, is it? Or
it's a decent size. They are. I've met I don't know if I've spoke to the founder, but I did a talk for them once before, I think, and they do like the story type thing. And I met the daughter of the owner, who's like, she's like the COO, is she, or something like that? But amazing, like I said, they really, really amazing work that what they do. They're just super passionate about what they do. Like they've got the coffee shop, haven't they, where I think like they have got everybody. I think the staff members are like trained in sort of mental health first aid. The profits go then to fund therapy for people and stuff. Yeah, sorry.
I think you find it with like the smaller charities. If you raise £1,000, it's going to make a massive difference. Then you raise £1,000 for a massive global charity, and it just gets lost in the system. Genuinely, I think when I first started off doing this, when we ran across America, we did it for like Help for Heroes, the British Heart Foundation, and then a Texas charity, Young Texans Against Cancer. And they're big charities, but the one which benefited most of the Young Texans Against Cancer, because it was so small. And it's just like, it's cool to see your money going into places which is going to have a bigger impact.
100%,
And I think so many people now are like, I didn't realise. So like with London Marathon and stuff, and the charity places and what, they charge the charities for those places. You think they charge them standardised ticket? No, they charge them more for the charity space.
Really?
Yeah. So when you see big organisations putting on big charity events, they'll have a big marathon, and there'll be charities with places in those things. Those charities more often than not pay more money than actually the person would do, because the organisation knows they're going to go and sell that place and then get the person to raise even more money. How fucked up is that?
That's messed up.
Yeah.
So what we do, we go against that, and we just give the spaces free to charities, because then you make money off nothing basically. Although actually this year we're actually helping a charity called Sporting Mind as well, who like are supporting us in other ways.
I see Rhys I can't remember his name, but
Rhys Morgan.
Yes.
So prime example now, So he is going to fundraise for them.
Yeah.
They're not going, Rhys, you need to raise me £1,000. Just raise us.
Because he's doing the slow runner through them, isn't he? I think.
Yeah. So they've taken care of his space.
Yeah.
And he can fundraise for them. He'll just raise awareness for them.
Yeah.
They haven't gone, you need to raise me this amount of money, otherwise we're going to charge you.
Yeah.
It's just like a nice way of doing it. We're a small independent company, so we can always get away with, trying to be good.
I think that's like maneuverability as a small company is what like sets things apart as well. Because like you said, I think so many big any big company, once it gets to a certain point, I think, you know, in a way it's inevitable that like some of the sort of sense of purpose gets lost, I suppose. You know, I'm talking like big companies now, big charities, like let's just say, I don't know, Mind, right? So Mind's a big charity and they've got like so many different people working there and this and that. And they do incredible work, and I'm not giving them as a bad example, but you know, just I think the maneuverability then of, like you said, a smaller organisation or charity, they can kind of go, well, actually, we don't want to do it this way and things. Whereas like Mind, if they want to change their processes at that point, it's got to be from the top down sort of thing. Like you can't have, I don't know, someone who just come up with a suggestion who is on like, I don't know, a job that's like 20 grand a year, for example, as a support worker, perhaps. They can't necessarily make a difference that is going to change the face of that. It's funny enough, actually, there's another guy called Ryan Stevens, right? Spelled in the same way as me.
Are you jealous of this Ryan Stevens?
Mate, it's nuts, right? So he does the same sort of like well-being coaching and shit. He co-runs a sea swim group as well. It's nuts.
He's from Nashville, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from down the road
He's across
as well.
the road.
Yeah, he's from down the road. But like, even when we speak, right, we're very similar in that respect, right? But he had a similar thing. I think he was working for a charity, and he said he was kind of like, he just didn't feel as though, I'm trying to think how to word this now, but yeah, just I think, you know, he was saying that he had a way that he wanted to do things, and he wanted to change the game up and change the industry and, I don't know, shake the tree, I suppose, and they just weren't really as receptive to it, because I think people were just doing what they've done for so long. And I don't know, I feel like that when you've got, like you said, a smaller like or startup organisation and things, you can just do that and just go for it.
This is like a prime example of what we're talking about. So this is from the Lucy Faithful Foundation, yeah, which it's not uncommon to get a thank you card from a charity, yeah. But then look inside that.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Look how long that fucking message is.
Yeah.
They've had like 8 people, I think, put different messages in there for me, and they're a small fucking charity, so they've gone out, written me personalised messages and sent me that card. It's just like, I will cherish that forever.
And that's very small text as well.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a lot in
It's
that.
like an ant written it.
He didn't ask my permission for the photos. But I've had it on the flip side though as well. So with a charity whereby you've gone out there to do good for them, and they've abused you. They've done it in a way where they've seen you as a pawn. To, you know, they've told you need to hit that certain amount of money. You need to go to this place. Like, it was a run over in America. It ran from New York to Chicago. It was supposed to be across the whole fucking country, but we actually downed tools in Chicago because of the way they were treating us and speaking to us. It was not cool the whole way. We actually running for the Boston bombings community over in America. Amazing charity. Like, the people that have been through that. The people within the charity are amazing in terms of what they've been through, The Boston bombings, everybody's heard of that. And what we actually ended up doing, we got invited to go to, have a look at that.
Another prop. President of the United States. Seal of the President of the United States.
So
she kisses.
Oh my God.
We had a random email into our inbox, and it wasn't giving me a box of chocolates, it was an invite to go to the White House. So we got invited to go speak at the White House. And
crack them open.
they are gone off, don't you dare.
That's amazing.
So we went along to the White House to speak to Michelle Obama's second-hand woman in command. It was so surreal. Literally, they let us in for the gates. Like, I'm not from America, obviously, I'm Welsh lad, so I had to like have like an armed guard like, walk me through the White House. You got to go to all these places where there's like no tour, and like they just take you into these little rooms and stuff, and like I was just looking for stuff to grab, and I ended up grabbing like 10 boxes of the White House chocolate. And my name tag, and taking selfies in the room we were in. But that charity was like, to run from New York to Chicago was quite straightforward. It's not straightforward, but you shouldn't be going but they wanted us to go to this city, to that city, to this city. And they didn't really care about our well-being by the end. They were just dictating where we had to go and when we had to be there. They were expecting us to run stupid miles. We were running stupid miles. But stuff which you just couldn't do without breaking your body and then ruining the whole trip. And it just came to a point when we were just outside Chicago, the charity went, well, you know what? If you're not enjoying it, just leave. We've got a B team lined up. And we were like, what do you mean you've got a B team lined up? Like, we got people waiting who will come and do this challenge right away. And we're like, okay, call your B team. There was no fucking beating. They ended up like backtracking and saying, whoa. We're like, well, no, we're done now. We've done what we can for the charity, and like we spoke to the people that we've been working with, and we explained our situation, and they fully agreed with it. So the Boston Bombings community were like, yeah, what dicks, basically. And we just stepped away
That's
from
in
it.
the last century, when they were like, "You're gonna pack it in, boys. You can just pack it in."
Oh fuck.
What's that?
We did a like a 3-day triathlon that we talked about in the first podcast. It's a brilliant event actually.
Good mumble centurion.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
brilliant.
right,
It's a half Ironman distance, pretty much 100k, but over 3 days. And we've done it 3 years on the trot, but then the last one we done, we just said we were like, because we hate fucking cycling.
I had
So
me
we
on a
just-
bike since the year before. My stickers
Same,
from the
yeah.
last event were still on my bike, so I had to peel them off.
we turned up and it was pissing down, and we just kind of we thought we'll go on the last wave, but when we got there, because it was hammering down, they just let everybody go early because so many people didn't turn up.
Yeah.
So they were like packing up, and they were like, "Oh boys, you need to go," and we were like, fuck. So but me and him, we said we're just going to stop for coffees,
Yeah,
we're going to take our time and that. But then we had the support van there, which was behind us the entire way. So we stopped off for coffee, then we had an off switch.
Yeah.
Got a coffee. I don't know. I thought I had I had a bacon roll or sausage and chips. I think you said I might have had a bacon roll.
Well, I think it was too early for sausage and chips. It's like
Yeah.
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you had a bacon roll. I think the guy,
Fucking chips, that thing.
he pulled up. He said, "Boys, you're taking the piss."
Yeah, he was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "We got marshals out, and you're stopping for coffee and biscuits and stuff."
Yeah.
I had just fallen off my bike. I pulled up, clipped in. I was like, just collapsed. And he was not amused, was he?
Yeah, so we had to, I just had to fucking scarf it down quickly, necked off the coffee, and we had to get a move on it. But like we said, we were like just going up all these hills, and we were like, this is fucking horrible. And we're looking behind, and he's just in the van like this, slowly going.
He was like,
behind
he's
us, and we
stalking
were
us.
like,
He looked back, and he was like this, and then in the mirror like that. And I was like, just feeling him staring at me.
I've had like the polar opposites. If I've been in that person's position, so I was driving past the McDonald's during one of our events, and I saw some of our runners hanging outside. It was like 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's not open, is it? But the drive-thru's open. So our runners were trying to go through the drive-thru, and the drive-thru person was like refusing them food, and I was like, oh fuck this. So I took the van and I drove through the drive-thru, and I was like, can you just not sort these people out? And he's like, no, I can't. I was like, why can't you? He's like, I said, can't. They're not in a vehicle. I was like, and I can't put them in vehicles because I don't want to put them in a moving vehicle to screw things up. So I was like, oh fuck this. So I drove around. I came back around, and I got them to walk next to the vehicle, and I was like, just read off what you want. And they were telling me what they want, and I was reading off to the guy, and he said, you can't do this. I was like, I can, I'm in a vehicle. So I'll order the food. He said, no, you can't do this. I refuse your food.
Some people are just dicks, aren't they? Just
And then I was like,
off.
no, you have to serve me, because I'm ordering
yeah.
the food. They're nothing to do with me.
I don't even know
Yeah.
that. Give me my order.
And then like 3 or 4 of them just chucking orders at me at like 2 a.m. in the morning. It was just one of those stories which
mad.
is a race director you don't see. But yeah, there you go. I opened McDonald's for people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some women on the Vogue stopped off a Barry for a log flume and an ice cream.
Yeah, they did. I can't remember their names, but yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy you that because I was like, what? I couldn't believe that.
McDonald's in Barry, a lot of people stop there.
Oh yeah, it didn't take my wallet.
Mate, my
last time.
nickname as a child was Burger Boy.
Is that?
Seriously, yeah.
Burger
Burger
every
connoisseur. I ate like 32 burgers over a long weekend when I was like 8 years old.
"Oh my god."
I know, it's quite impressive, isn't it?
32 burgers.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
very
I
impressive.
went on a football tour with my brother who was like 8 years older, and I just went around the football team just saying I'm hungry, and they were like all teenagers, so they were all buying me burgers, and then somebody went, he's just done that with me, mate. And like, they're all like
32 of them like that. Oh.
by the end of it, they were like had me as Burger Boy, the football mascot, and they ended up winning the competition.
That's
I
amazing.
take full credit for that.
What was it? I think it was the first 100-mile attempt. They let us a McDonald's story. They let me in at fucking stupid o'clock in the morning. I don't know. No, it wasn't that far. They let me in at McDonald's at stupid o'clock in the morning. I don't think it was you meant to go in, but we were like, oh look, we're running 100 miles for charity, which to be fair we were. Not to say I was doing it, and one of the girls, Frankie, she was way ahead of me, but one of the boys was with me, and he's just bailed out. Yeah, Sam Keith. Yeah, that's what I mean.
By the castle it was.
I don't know, but yeah, we got in there, and they said, oh yeah, come on in. We just needed a shit basically, so we just went in there for a shit, and I think I ordered like 20 chicken nuggets and smashed them in then. But like, we had them in the bag, and as I was running, I was like saying to like one of the boys, Sam Keith, I was like, oh, chuck me a nugget, will you? So we just literally, I just eating these nuggets whilst fucking 60 miles into it. Oh, it was lovely. Probably not the best nutrition actually on a run, but yeah.
Well, there's a video floating around of me a few years ago. I went into McDonald's and ordered like 16 cheeseburgers. But I ordered it, and then the woman went 16 cheeseburgers, and I was like, yeah, 16 cheeseburgers. And then she went, 16 cheeseburgers to the person behind her, and then the person went, 16 cheeseburgers? And it was like a domino effect. I felt so shamed by the time I left there with my 16 cheeseburgers.
Was that on? I'm guessing that was on a run then.
It was going into Death Valley. It was literally, I'm really good at like eating like burgers and pizza and stuff like that. It's like getting out of my body, not baby food and ginger ale. And I took 16 cheeseburgers in. I've taken like 10 Dominoes in before, like to put them in the car. It's nuke proof, isn't it? It just lasts. Yeah. We've pulled cheeseburgers out like weeks later out of the support vehicle and like, can I? Route 66, we cycled Route 66, that was a cool one. A non-stop relay again, and we lived off like drive-throughs the whole way because we couldn't stop. We were just determined that only three of us for like 7 days round the clock, and it got to a point where we were like, we need to have a break because like we were just on our asses. And what had happened the night before, so you were cycling, and you pulled over for a drink, and I got out of the car to give him a drink, and the other guy's fast asleep in the back of the van. It's America though, isn't it? And it's not manual, it's
they're all
I left the van in drive, so the van just starts moving off down the road with this other guy in the back of it
sleeping
completely fast.
It's going down the hill.
I didn't realise the guy that was on the bike was like, Rhys, I said, what? He's like, the van's fucking going on. And I had to leg it down, like, when I was finishing it, I didn't know what to do, I've never stopped. I was kicking in the vehicle trying to hit the brake, and I hit the brake, we stopped, and then the guy, like, shot up out of the back of the van, and was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Then we realised we had to take a break, basically.
Automatics are really fucking weird, aren't they? I don't think I've never told this publicly, I don't think, actually. I robbed my old man's car when I was like 16. And back to jail. I got arrested for it, I did, I got arrested for it, but I got an NFA, I got no further action. But it was an automatic, and I thought, because I didn't want to go onto like a main sort of road, so I thought I'll do a 3-point turn per year. Fucking automatic. It was a long thing as well. And I just put it into reverse, obviously it's going back. I'm like, oh fuck. So I just put my foot, and I couldn't drive, do you know what I mean? So I put my foot down to try and go forward, but obviously it's in reverse. So I'm going back, I go up onto the curb, panicked, hit the fucking accelerator again. I went straight through some wall, and I was like, just proper flustered at this point, put it into drive, drove around the corner, and literally just drove around the corner, pulled up, just to breathe, and literally within 2 seconds, police just came down from there. They didn't know about the wall, but they just kind of like pulled over, and they were just like, you right? I was like, yeah. And I'm like trying to act cool though, so I was like one hand on the steering. Yeah, all good.
Still in school uniform.
They're like, oh, you got this? You got insurance? Yeah. You got a driver's license? No, because I knew by that point I was fucked anyway, and I thought, they're gonna let me off. No, I was locked up for a couple of hours after.
Really?
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Was you?
Oh yeah, he was fine tapping. He was down the pub at the time, so he was fuming. Yeah, he was fuming.
What about that wall?
Yeah, he was fuming. I was going to say he didn't know about the wall actually. I think what did I say? He was like, oh yeah, I think when they drove the car back, they must have bumped there. I was like, yeah, maybe, yeah, fuck, because he asked me, he's like, did you bump me? I said, no, fuck. He listened to this podcast now, and I'm gonna get a fucking slap next to him.
Yeah, they scratched the car. And they were like, so sorry, we'll upgrade you. We're like, well, we haven't really kicked off here, and they've upgraded us already. So we're like, it's really ruined our, we've just done this charity thing, and now you've ruined the whole experience. We're quite worried about the car. Tell you what, we'll get the car fixed for you. It was like it's a really small scratch. We're like, that'd be really good, thank you. And then you're like, it's really put a horrible taste in the mouth. They're like, right, we'll upgrade you. So they upgraded us to like the penthouse in Donald Trump's hotel in Las Vegas, and we're like, this is amazing. We're on the top floor. The views of Vegas are incredible. And they basically treated us like, it was incredible. So you'd leave the room, you come back, there'd be fresh champagne every time. They give you gift vouchers to use in the hotel. And then they went, here's a number. And they're, what's this number? They're like, well, if you want to go anywhere, or you want picking up, you just ring this number. And basically we had private access to Trump 1 and Trump 2 for like 2 nights. So basically wherever we were, Donald Trump's vehicles would come and pick us up.
Wow.
This is before he was like the most hated man in America. Yeah. So we were like, this is amazing. So like 3-4 a.m. in the morning, they just turn up in this big black truck, which is, it says Trump 1 on it. You're like, it's incredible. So people thought we were like Trump for like 2 or 3 nights.
Fuck, imagine doing that now. You get eggs thrown at you and all sorts of shit.
Oh, I know that, yeah. I think I would do it now, to be honest.
I love that way it's all got glazed over. He tried to get assassinated and no one talks about it.
Yeah. That was actually quite fucking wild. The fact
He's like
that
turns it, he just clips his ear.
Yeah, but the fact and he just put his arm up afterwards, he was very unfazed by it. That's a bit like, that's fucking mental. Actually, it was a really, really good reaction to it, in fairness. But
Picture like an album cover, didn't it? Like he got his hand up in the air.
Did he set it up though?
Yeah, I was thinking that. Did he set it up?
Well, Elon Musk, you sent me of Elon Musk the other day doing a fucking Nazi salute.
Did you see that?
Oh, I saw something. I didn't see the video of it though.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'll get fucking. We'll
get cancelled before you start it.
I just try not watching the news now.
Yeah, I don't watch the news.
So fucking bad. Miserable.
Say again?
All right.
Is this why you're like,
our producers rushing?
He's like, well, that's what we like to bullshit. I only had one more question. It was more towards not random. I can't think of a random question I asked last week. I was more towards Pegasus. Did you ever think of doing like an event? I know there's loads of ones down the Gower and stuff, but did you ever think of like doing one more like westerly, like Pembrokeshire or?
Do you know what? I had this whole thing in my mind, call it the Wild West 100, but then somebody's gone and done the Wild West 50, haven't they?
Oh, have they?
Yeah, it looks amazing, mate. I think it's a Nobblers or something like that. So I'd never step on other people's toes when it comes like that. But yeah, I would love to, but we have our area, and like we're independent. We know there's other independent businesses out there, so I just think we're not dicks. So
and there's only one route really in the Gower, and at the coastal path.
Oh, the Gower, that's quite saturated.
Loads of people do that.
I can think of like 4 ultras on the Gower. It's an amazing place. Don't get me wrong, but when you've got that many races, I think we like doing things in different locations.
Yeah, and I've said that to you because we run the Gower all the time, and I said it's nice going to these events. And I haven't got a clue where I am.
Yeah,
like, I'd never run that part of the coastal path in the Vogum.
You've done the Howham before?
No.
That will catch you out.
Yeah,
in a good way.
Yeah, everyone says the Howham like really good.
It's like the prettiest. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing them. Not the Canon, but yeah.
I have to sign up on it.
I said do the slam. You could place high.
Yeah, that's a look at the dates. I could what?
You could place high because they're stacked, aren't they, across all of them?
Oh, place high. Yeah. I thought you said play Psy, like Psy trance, because I do listen to Psy trance. That's a bit. Well, fuck.
Siberian trance. Is that?
No.
That's the bit. He's like on the floor.
Both songs in the background. Yeah, no, I on the weekend now done the the turtle run running at the Ultra, and I was just like, I don't know, I was a bit like, I was struggling with the cold and my achy legs and this and that, and then I think it was like marathon distance at this point, right? I thought I was like taking my time a bit anyway, but then got to marathon distance and somebody said something about music, putting my music in now, and I thought, I got my headphones, I'm putting my music on, so I put my AirPods on, I put trance on. Fuck me, I was just on one, but I was cheering people on as we would, because we were like going past the same people on and off the entire way. I was like, come on, well done, blah, 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 was cheering on and keep going, all this kind of stuff. When I had my fucking music on, I was like, no, I was like a different person. I was doing the same thing but much more intense. Like I looked like I'd taken a pill or something. So I was running past, and I was like, yeah, come on, yeah, and just you can see people, yeah, you're right. You can see people smiling as I'm coaching because I was fucking sprinting, and I was just screaming. I was like, yeah, they're just cheering them on. And a guy said to me at the end, and he said, mate, you had a fucking second wind, didn't you? He said 1 minute you just like thinking or whatever, yeah, mate, well done, blah blah. And then he said, the next minute I seen you fucking sprinting your head off and screaming. And I said, yeah, to be fair. He was like, I thought you'd taken something genuine. I was like, no, I just put trance music on. Like, it's just.
That was one of my favourite parts of the rhythm when we were running past all the Dragon's Back people.
Oh, high five.
Yeah, that was the best. We were all doing that high fiving, but the best was we got to one bit and some guy started following us, so like it's like a fork in the road. So you go left to go the route, or then, and he goes that way, and one of the guys behind me, I think it's Dean, and he was like, Mike, give him a shout, he's going the wrong way. So I was like, oh, mate, you're going the wrong way. Turn. He goes, no, I'm going this way. I went, you're not. I went, your race is that way. You're on the Dragon's Back. I went, yeah, we're going that way. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, thank you so much. So I was like, we were adding another 10 miles on the route.
That was supposed to be quite cool though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
We were all high-fiving.
Yeah, we were all high-fiving. The guy who won ran past us, the American guy. But yeah, we were all high-fiving. So that was like that was an amazing part of the race.
You done Drags Back? No.
I was supposed to do it last year.
Oh, that's what we didn't touch on before. With your hips running.
Oh,
We
I've
didn't
got a funny
notice.
photo. Yeah, do you want to see a funny photo?
Go on.
Well, that's dead.
What's dead? Oh, is it?
I've killed it.
Right.
So I sent that to my friend here. So that's my 2 new hips now, yeah. So I've got both.
shit.
I only had the other one done 12 weeks ago.
Hmm.
So then he sent me this back earlier.
Oh my god.
This is quite funny, obviously, but yes. So I was supposed to do it last year, but my body wasn't healed in time. So I had my first total hip replacement. What's the date today?
27th Jan.
27.
So in a couple of days' time, we've done a 1 year anniversary on my first hip. And then my other one done in November last year, so 12 weeks on this one, almost a year on this one. So the recovery's been a lot more difficult than I thought in terms of I'd signed up to loads for last year thinking I'd be able to just step back in, but my body's just like, it's just not ready. I need to let it bed in properly. So I was like supposed to go to Dragon Back, but I've moved over to this year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run it with a friend this year, all being
Oh,
well,
awesome.
touch wood.
That could be easy for you.
Oh man, I'm quite competitive, so I don't know. I'd want to do myself justice, but it's a new body to me. Like I need to learn how to use these properly. Like the only reason in 2022, a year I almost died in hospital. Before that event, I was actually told that I went for an X-ray. I think it was just a normal X-ray, and the doctor came out and he was just like, "Oh, let's have a look at your hips." And I sat down with him and I was like, "Okay, cool, let's have a look." And he went, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Shit!" And like the hip had exploded. I mean, there was like shrapnel. Like it was just like, "What?" I was like, "What? That's not my hip." And he's like, "Oh no, it's not your hip." He was like, and then he just went like this, swiped to the left. He went, "Yours isn't much better." There's a way of selling something.
Oh my god.
And then basically an argument ensued between me and this like surgeon about like running and like my hip. He's like, "You need to cease and desist running. Like you're not going to be running ever again." And I was like, "If you're a doctor, yeah. So if I told you to stop being a doctor tomorrow, can you do it?" And he's like, I know what you're doing here, but you're not getting my point." I was like, "I'm going to go get a second opinion."
Yeah.
He's like, "You go and get a second opinion and I'll see you soon." I'm never coming back to you. He was like, "You have the hips of an 8-year-old," which basically I had osteoarthritis severe. So I've been battling it in pain probably, what was it, the year we started Pegasus. So at the first finish line of our first ever event, I had this horrible sensation down my left leg. It's like everything went numb. And I was like, that's not normal, but also I'm doing a lot of running, so maybe it's just a side product of where my body's going. And then got to 2022 after doing a few things, and I was not knowing it's osteoarthritis, but it just suffocates you. The pain is just chronic. It's like day-to-day life. The worst pain is like putting on a sock. Everybody puts on a fucking sock every day, first thing in the morning. So imagine first thing you're doing every morning is you're causing yourself pain, and that's what starts your day. And like my running became more and more painful. And anyway, it was osteoarthritis. It was severe. My left one had to be gone, and my right one had a few more months left in it. And yeah, it just find yourself going down so many rabbit holes in terms of I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And you got so many moving factors in it in terms of my age. So the average age is like the mid-60s. I'm like, I'm not that. I look old, but I'm only like 37. And so that's 30 years below where I should have been with it. So you take that into account. Take into account that I want to get back running. No, not a lot of people go back running after having a hip replacement. There are groups, and I have joined those groups to get that inspiration. But then also, what materials should I use? What procedure should I have? Which surgeon should I have that do it? Somebody that's used to dealing with athletes, somebody that's used to dealing with old people. You have all these mitigating factors. You have all these different factors, which I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I went down all these different rabbit holes, and it was quite depressive. To be honest, you just losing your mind, and the only thing you want to be doing is getting back to running. Yeah. So when you asked me earlier about like lessons that I've learned and stuff, I really, for me, run is right at the front of my forerun. You never know when it's your last run. Yeah. Unfortunately, and I know that sounds really quite sad and whatnot. Yeah. But my body just grounded to a halt, and that's the reason I've had these hips now. Is that I'd rather sit there when I'm an 80-year-old with fucked up hips and have all these amazing stories and stuff that I've achieved, rather than sit there with two amazing hips. That's just not me. That won't happen. But like even having the operation was comical in itself, like the way they delivered the news. But I shit scared of needles.
Yeah.
He showed me a needle and I'll faint. And I was like, just don't show me the needles. And they went, this needle. And I was like, and I passed out. And they give you these lovely pants when they take you into surgery. And they are like wide runners, but they're just made out of paper. And it must have got caught on the bed. And basically my butt revealed itself to like the surgeon behind me. And I sort of came to. And all I heard the surgeon say was, if he's passed out with that needle, wait till he sees the next one.
Oh.
Of course, the first thing I do, I just start fainting again. So yeah, twice I had the operation, twice I fainted.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago, was that?
No, a year ago.
Oh,
I actually met with my surgeon today, and I've got to sign off now for both of the hips, so I don't have to see him for like a year.
Nice.
So yes, and I did my first run back on Saturday. So
Yeah, because you showed me
Yeah,
that.
I seen
earlier on,
that,
wasn't it? Yeah.
which was
I see what
pretty
Insta
cool.
is.
How was it?
Nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I think like when you have the operation, 2-3 hours after I have the operation, they actually get you up walking on it, and like taking that initial step, you're like, this is gonna fucking hurt, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't because of the amount of drugs they got going
Yeah.
through you. But the run on Saturday was just, I guess, quite liberating to be told that you'll never run again when inadvertently I've fallen into running and my passion is running now. It's like to be told you can never run again is quite a shock, really. I know there's a lot worse things in life, and this is a drop in the ocean in terms of my lifespan and whatnot. You know, it's something which I will get over. But yeah, for me, it was just like almost like a fuck you to that guy
Yeah.
who told me I'd never run again. So yeah, it's hard to say this without getting quite like built up and quite
Yeah.
emotional about it. Yeah.
And just because we were out of battery on everything, I'm going to finish it.
I'm
I'm going to finish it with the
100%.
something that you showed us in the little break here.
Oh, yeah.
So you said about running. Freaking hell, it's
The
heavy.
big lighter.
The big. So if you, I mean, this is your shamonka. So
Tell you what, you open it. And you can, I wonder if you can guess what it is.
I know.
It's
who
a
can
Toblerone.
guess?
Let's open it quick for the battery.
How do I fucking? Well, go open it up.
It's a giant spliff.
Whoa. So that is the Olympic torch to the camera.
That was one.
Show this,
Yeah.
we're going to show this camera over here. I missed the story about
The
you
story,
told me this, yeah, so
just from the charity work that I've done over the years. In 2012, I got nominated to carry it for my local town, and you get to keep it at the end of it.
That's amazing.
It's
I think
incredible.
At that point, I'd raised like 20 grand for charity, but now I think right now more closer to 200 grand for charity. So
Yeah.
I just try to keep getting more and more.
that's insane. 200 grand. But wow.
Since
that's awesome.
2010. So
And you got the fucking Olympic torch, which is so cool.
I did also get robbed, remember, into
Yeah,
my
that's
money
very
for
good.
charity.
And shit
Very
himself.
good, isn't it?
Yeah, he did. Got robbed, shit himself, and was died. But
Yeah, there's things. But that's just kind of stuff people don't talk about, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you know what? It doesn't really embarrass me at all.
no, that's what we like on this. That's what we want.
Oh, we
people
love
to
this.
tell.
Yeah, we love shit
Stories like
stories.
that.
There
Yeah.
you go. Man.
Shit stories, literally.
Hey, absolute pleasure.
Thank you so
No,
much.
Really,
Thank you,
really
Rhys. Thank
appreciate
you so
that.
much.
You're
man.
absolute top gent. So thank you for having me on.
So good, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thank you to the
See
producer,
you-
Scott.
Thank you, Scott. See you in the next one.
All right.
Bye.